Hi, Sarah. It's Christina from The Upcoming. It's so lovely to speak with you today. Congratulations on the amazing film. So, would you like to start by sharing what Familiar Touch is about and what people can expect when they're going in?
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. So, Familiar Touch is a coming of old age film, and it follows Ruth, an 80 something woman, in her transition into a care facility. But instead of being a story about decline or death, it's really a character study of her relationship to herself and her caregivers, her desires, her sense of agency, and her age identity, and how it kind of shifts in this moment. We really wanted to take the coming of age story and adapt it for an older woman to see this moment as a moment of transition rather than of decline or disappearance.
So, I think this question is on everyone's mind after watching the film. How did you come up with the first scene? Was it inspired by true events or did it just come to you naturally?
I think so. I worked as a caregiver for a number of years, and one of the things that most struck me was this sense of how people's desire for intimacy and for connection continued, even if they didn't recognize or remember how someone related to them, that they could feel a sense of familiarity. And so I wanted to look at sort of that desire for connection, even as it's sort of expressed or channeled in an inappropriate way. So I think that was the first impulse for that scene, and then the idea that Ruth would be a cook and the sort of what we called wrinkles in her cooking, not mistakes, but kind of wrinkles in the process. That came about later. I really wanted to find a form for Ruth's creative expression, but also have her craft be something that was olfactory and tactile and gustatory and kind of appeal to all of her senses. So that's how the character became a cook. And so those sort of two impulses, I think, convened for that opening scene, but also some familial experiences as well.
How did Catherine react to seeing that scene on the script?
She's such a bold and extraordinary actor. One of the things I love about her is that she's fearless. So the fact that the scene we're discussing is one in which our main character flirts with her son, not knowing that he's her son. And it was never something that came up in a bad way. It was always conversations were about how Ruth sees that moment and honoring her desire rather than shaming it. Yeah, it was always a question of where is Ruth in this moment, and that was what guided our collaboration, is trying to find the character in the present moment.
That's a really great partnership. So, were there any challenges during the process of making the film?
So many. We were up against the strike, the SAG strike, so we had 19 days to film and had no wiggle room. So we had to be very economical. My cinematographer and I really had a plan of, okay, how do we do each scene in 3 shots, in 2 shots, if we have to in 1 shot. So certainly economy was always a challenge, but also I think made the film better because we had to think about how to achieve the story we wanted to tell in the simplest terms. And that simplicity, I think, opened up a lot. We were working with a real care facility, which I wouldn't say was a challenge so much as an opportunity, because we got to collaborate and have these intergenerational relationships. And I think it makes the film feel truer. But it meant that we were guests and didn't have control over the space, and we were beautifully invited in. But it meant a different relationship to scheduling, to productivity, that made the film stronger. But it required a mindset shift. There were many kind of day-to-day challenges of making a low-budget film, but yeah.
So this is such a promising debut. What's next for you?
So it's like a little too early to say exactly, but I'll say that I'm working on my next screenplay, and what it shares with Familiar Touch is a sort of analysis of community relationships and a movement-based and sort of embodied language. I'm in the middle. When I'm not at festivals, I'm writing right now, so hopefully I'll see you back here in a few years with the next one.
That's amazing to hear. I'm looking forward to it already.
No, I can't wait to share it with you.